Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked Nicolas Dalby to defeat Warlley Alves. That's actually what I'm going to talk about in this video here. I am picking Dalby, and really it's a bet on cardio. You know, it's not to say Warlley can't win. Warlley has distinct advantages in this fight. He's got physicality. He's got 6 years of age. You know, he's 6 years younger. He's not in his late 30s. And he's also got submission skill, overall submission threat, submission prowess. No doubt that belongs to Warlley Alves. And I'm very sure Warlley is winning round one, as is the case in most fights, to be honest. But in this one, I'm particularly sure Warlley wins round one. But as sure as I am of that, I'm twice as sure that Dalby would win round three if it should get there. Which, you know, he's got to survive round one to get there. But down the stretch, if this one goes 15 minutes... I'm not even saying, I guarantee Dalby wins a decision, but I'm very sure he wins round three, and I am absolutely picking him to win a decision. Warlley, he's got the submission threat. He's a dangerous fighter, but all of his losses are, in one way or another, attributable to cardio, aside from maybe the Jeremiah Wells fight. But he's got 5 losses, 2 via knockout, 1 via submission, 2 via decision. All 3 of the finishes, well, all losses come inside the UFC, first of all. All of his finish losses, the 2 TKOs and the 1 submission, come inside of round 2. Brandy Brown choked him out with a triangle choke in round 2. Jeremiah Wells knocked him out maybe 3 seconds into round 2. And James Krause knocked him out in the middle of round 2. His 2 losses come to Kamaru Usman, no shame there, and Brian Barberena. In both those fights, he won round 1 and lost rounds 2 and 3. We've also seen him slip in wins, like his fight against Alan Jouban, losing round 3. But look, he knocked out Sergio Moraes in round 3, and he choked out the guy to win the Ultimate Fighter in round 3. His cardio's been there for him too. It's just overall, I expect it to work against him, especially when he's fighting somebody who thrives down the stretch. And look, if anybody beats Sergio Moraes, it's probably a round 3 finish. That's typically how that guy loses. But Warlley, you know, I just don't trust his cardio overall. And against a guy like Dalby, who is historically very tough, never been finished, although he was finished once. But, you know, that's a no contest now. And I want to say it's like the anomaly on his record. His loss to Jesse Ronson, which, you know, now it's a no contest. He was dropped and choked out. That was like 2 years ago. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. It was such a surprise, especially considering everything going on with Jesse Ronson. But it was all ruined for him anyway, because Jesse Ronson tested positive for whatever the fuck. Anyway, Dalby's 4 losses are all via decision. They're all inside the UFC, I believe. Carlos Pedasoli, Peter Sabata, Tim Means, and someone else. Zach Cummings, I believe. And look, so Dalby is durable. He's been in there with some very good fighters, and officially he's never been finished. But the one trait he has is cardio. He's taken over. He's like the opposite of Alves. There are a lot of fights you can look to where he's won round 3. He won round 3 against Darren Till in a big way, came back and made that fight a draw by almost finishing Darren Till after dropping the first and second round. That was before Till was Till, although now I think Till is back to not being Till. I don't know. Either way, it was a great performance from Dalby, and it showed a lot of grit. Carlos Pedasoli beat him for 2 rounds as well, and he won round 3. Didn't beat the shit out of him, but he took round 3. And we saw him take rounds 2 and 3 from Alex Oliveira, Cowboy Oliveira, and Claudio Silva. Even though Claudio Silva is 50 years old and fights every 7 years, it's still a consistency of Dalby that he wins round 3. Even in his loss to Tim Means, he was the last man standing there. So overall, I trust Dalby, especially if the fight goes the distance. I'm very sure he's going to be winning round 3, and that's why I've got him winning. I've got him winning his money line because you could attach that to parlays at minus 105, and it does cover a potential finish, which, even though I don't think he's got the technical advantages to put Warlley away, when you're betting against someone's cardio, a finish is always possible, especially in rounds 2 and 3. But even though the odds are juicy, I'm not betting on the prop bets. I've got the money line at minus 105 and the decision line at plus 300. When I saw that, I pounced on it because that's my prediction. Dalby wins a decision, plus 300. You know, if Alves really takes a big cardio dump that bad, then there's a chance he gets finished later on. But overall, Dalby's not the greatest finisher. At the UFC level, he's been more of a point fighter, and he's outpointed some very good fighters. D-Rod, Zaleski in his debut, whoever, again, Alex Oliveira. But I like Dalby by decision here. So Dalby by decision plus 300. I will say I also bet on Warlley Alves to win via round 1 finish plus 500, which could be be via strikes or guillotine, which is what I expect. There are no prop bets for him to win via round 1 submission, but if it was a lot juicier or even somewhat juicier, I would play round 1 submission. But again, that's really a hedge. I know Warlley has a strong round 1 in most of his fights, and I know he's got great submission prowess, and that is technically the one way Dalby was finished. But again, I'm waiting to see the submission props, but that's really a hedge. My bet and prediction, Dalby by decision. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit. Check out my other videos.